Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Continue.
Yep.
Yep.
There it is.
Now I have my little controls at the top. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Thank you so much for all of your amazing patience.
Now, wait a second. You're not supposed to be doing stuff that make you laugh.
That's right.
I can make you laugh. You can't make me.
Everything in the world makes me laugh. People make me laugh. So,
all right, here we go. Let's get this party started. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you now that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out. For those of you who have not been here before, I appreciate your patience at the beginning of our session tonight. We had a little technical difficulties, but this is Blind Date with a Book. We're not going to tell you what the title is. We are going to tell you who the authors are: Kate McNeil, Mark Bellow, and Luba Lasician. And they're going to give you a little piece of each one of their stories, 5 short minutes, and then you'll get to guess which author goes with which book. So let's get right on to this next screen. Andrew, would you like to let me breathe a little bit and do this for me?
let me get. Yes, I will go through it all real quick.
Thank you.
As most of you know, this is the first week. Wow. Tomorrow, we're going to start out with the 6 workshops that we're doing this month. Not only do you get all but 4 days of the entire month of February with different authors and a chance to win great books, but you also have the opportunity to learn something too. There are 6 great workshops. Tomorrow, we're going to have our own Kate, who's here right now, and she's going to be telling us how to use social media and social media for authors and how to strengthen your brand and sell more books. That's from 7 to 8 tomorrow. The cost is only $2. You can't miss it. Jump in. She's always very riveting and always teaches us a lot. Coming up on February 16th, Strangelove, How I Learned to Embrace Contemporary Poetry as a Non-Academic. With author Michael Jones, and he's going to be telling us all about poetry and really getting into that a lot more than most people do. Coming up on the 17th, Poking the Comedic Derriere, How to Write Comedy with Christopher Gare, and Christopher's going to make us giggle and laugh, and Mark is not allowed to attend that one right now because it might knock his staples clear across the room. So Mark's out, but the rest of you come, giggle with us, laugh with us, and let's learn how to write a little comedy. On February 18th, Julianne Sung and Xander Cross are going to be teaching us backward and forwards using history in fiction. And we're going to get real historical and learn a lot about our past. Coming up on the 20th, this is one that you should all be looking forward to. Andy Lockwood, he's going to be here showing us how to go from storyboard to YouTube with crafting book trailers for authors. And he is a great filmmaker, a fantastic, thrilling author that really can get inside you and make you shake a little. This is a great opportunity for you to put something out there if you're an author to advertise well. And on February 24th, last but not least, you can come visit with me and we'll be talking suspense and how to build suspense into your writing. It's going to be scary, it's going to be fun, it's going to be suspenseful. We're going to kind of stay away from the scare and look at keywords and key people that can kind of creep inside of you and make you feel a little uncomfortable, because that's what suspense should do. Join us, $2 a piece. These are easy, cheap at 10 times the price. It covers just the cost of technology. We're not getting anything. We're just doing this to help you out and make you see a little bit wider landscape. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Yay! See, Andrew does this so much better than I ever could. And I had to regain a little composure after that technical snafu. So while I'm talking to you about this next thing, I forgot to do this at our last session. I don't want to forget again. Here's a handy dandy little poll you guys get to do while I'm going to share my next screen with you. I want to remind you all that all of our authors' books are connected through our Pages Promotions Virtual Pop-Up Bookshop. This is a cozy little place where you can order autographed books and you can order limited edition numbered book plates from the authors if you've already purchased a book or if you got a book through a different distribution opportunity, like Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and you'd still like to have your book signed, the authors will send you a signed, numbered, limited edition book plate, and those will go in your books. And you can stick them in, on the wall where there it is. Andrew's got one. So you can have a small little token of memory from this, month of insanity. So there's the book plate right there. While you guys are doing this, let's see. Oh, we're almost done with the poll. So that's great. Awesome. Thank you. This helps me with my marketing efforts for you guys to fill out this little poll. And it really helps me to plan for the next set of insanity that I'm going to wield on all of you. So thank you very much for doing that. And now we are going to start tonight's extravaganza. We have 3 authors who are going to read for you tonight. I'm going to show you the previews of their books. 3 authors, Kate McNeil, Luba Lasician, and Mark Bellow, are each going to read a 5-minute cutting from their book. We're not going to tell you which one, but you might be able to guess if you listen closely and then imagine these partially revealed covers. After they're done reading, we'll play a little game of who wrote what, and you'll get to match the author to the cover. You don't win any prizes for doing that correctly. You just get bragging rights, but bragging rights is something, isn't it? We all love to go on Facebook and talk about what we can do well. And bragging rights is right there with the stuff we do well. So tonight we are going to start with Mark Bellow. Are you ready to read, sir?
I am. I want to publicly state that if you can't guess this book, you're seriously challenged.
Okay, challenge accepted. All right, Mark, on your mark, get set, and go.
Like a terrible addictive habit, here he was again. This time, he was a candidate to become a justice on the highest court in the land. His vote was to be the vital swing vote for a divided court. His sense of entitlement, narcissistic attitude, and political ideology was repugnant to her. On top of all of this, he was a criminal. Haley was beside herself. What should I do? What can I do after all these years? Who would believe me? Would I be wasting my time, causing myself unnecessary pain and aggravation? How can such a man be qualified to serve on the United States Supreme Court? Has he done this to anyone else? Honey, are you okay? Joel snapped her out of her thoughts. She didn't even realize he was holding her. Joel, oh my God, how can they even consider this guy? Did they get my letter? Do they know what kind of man he is? What kind of predator he is? How can they do this? She looked into his eyes, pleading for words of comfort, understanding, and perhaps wisdom. Oh, Joel, how many times must I rehash this? I can't keep going back. Who says you have to? Wilkinson certainly has the legal and judicial credential to be a Supreme Court justice. Maybe we just leave well enough alone and mind our own business. Joel didn't really mean what he said. He was brilliantly leading her to the only choice she had. She needed to expose this jerk for the predator he was. His strategy worked almost immediately. And what happens when a rape victim needs an abortion? What happens when the court looks at issues of government funding for victim programs? What happens to a wide variety of social issues a guy like Wilkinson could care less about? David won't have any chance to beat Goliath for the next 40 years. I understand that, sweetheart. But those are issues of political and legal ideology. Do you oppose him because he's a criminal or because he's an extreme right-wing appointee? Both. What's wrong with that? Nothing. If you're going to do something, though, whatever that might be, I want you to do it for the right reasons. Would you go after Wilkinson if he was on your side of the issues? And there it was. Leave it to Joel to wrap this up into a neat little one-sentence package. Would I? She paused, staring into outer space again. Joel squeezed her hand. Damn straight I would, Haley growled. He's a criminal. He should be in prison. He should never have been granted a law license, let alone a seat on the circuit or appellate court. United States Supreme Court? Oliver Wilkinson? Joel, that is a bridge too far. So what do you propose to do? Haley was in agony. She wrinkled her nose, tightly closed her eyes, and dropped her head into her hands. I don't have a clue. What do you propose, my knight in shining armor? Joel was developing a germ of an idea. Are you ready to go public with this? Your idea is to go public? What about the kids? How would the kids feel as adults in 20 or 30 years if this guy's still a Supreme Court justice? How would they feel knowing their mother could have done something to prevent it and did nothing? Boy, you don't pull any punches. What happened to my patient, loving, and supportive knight? He's right here, Haley. He's watched this guy occupy an important space in your head for years. He has affected your relationships, career choices, mood, and even how you sleep and dream. Your loving knight in shining armor says it's time to fight back. What do you propose? Do you remember Zachary Blake, the lawyer? The one with all the large verdicts and the big ego? That's the one. The ego's well-deserved because Blake's the best in the city. Okay, so what about him? Zach is a powerful guy in Michigan politics. He's a large donor to the Democratic Party in Michigan and nationally. He's well-connected and very politically active. He can't be happy with the Wilkinson appointment. So I think we should make an appointment to see him. Tell him the whole story. Let him investigate and expose this guy. No one knows how to play the media better than Zachary Blake. He's the master. If there are legal issues, or if you're called to testify before the bar or the Senate, Zach can provide legal advice and representation. Oh, Joel, what about our careers? This could be a huge media and political spectacle. Press would descend on our lawn. What about the kids, the school, the neighbors? What about our privacy?
I'm sorry, Mark, you are done. Your 5 minutes are up.
Oh, I'm almost done.
Sorry.
But we
It's
want
speed
more.
dating, Mark. It's time to move on to the next person to fall in love with.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
It's okay, Mark. I still love you.
Yeah, we all still love you, Mark. Okay. Next reading for us will be Luba Lysician, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm getting your name right every single time.
That's perfect.
Tell you how happy that makes me. So tonight, Luba is going to do a land dedication before her read, and then I'm going to start the clock. Right, Luba, are you ready?
I am.
Go.
It's a fast clock.
I recognize we are all signing on from different territories, and I want to start by acknowledging that I am speaking to you from my home in Toronto, a Mohawk word which translates to where the trees meet the water, or the gathering place. Toronto is bound by Dish with One Spoon, a treaty between the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee to share the territory, promote peace, and protect the land. I acknowledge them and any other nations who care for the land, recorded or unrecorded, and I pay my respect to Canada's first storytellers.
Awesome. Thank you, Luba. I'm so pleased that you wanted to make that a part of tonight's presentation. It gives me goosebumps when I hear you read it. So thank you very much for doing that.
As we discussed, it's traditionally done before just about any kind of cultural event in Canada. So I wanted to.
I defer to your traditions, and I'm pleased that we have Canadians in our festival this year. So it's really super awesome. So now I'm going to start the clock. Ready, go.
Come on, screamed Marco. My eyes opened. I wasn't fried, but I was stuck. Marco plunged towards me, gripped the plastic polka-dotted shell and jerked it. I watched in horror as the coat tore. I'll buy you a new one, he said. I got this in Berlin. I forged forward, muttering under my breath. The three of us doubled back along the fence to the opening in the structure, dove under a monumental archway and into a concrete portico as if crossing the finish line of a sprint. This storm is insane. If I'd known it was going to be this bad, I would have recommended we do this another night, said Marco, breathing heavily. How could you know it would turn out like this? I said, glancing down at my tattered coat. I can fix that for you, said Benny, her subtle Italian accent hardly discernible. As a drainer and keeper of underground urban rivers, I must repair my rainwear all the time, and I have become an expert, I think. You will never even know it was broken. Ripped, said Marco. In English, you usually use the word ripped for material. Oh no, I said, splitting the coat open. This is broken. The three of us howled, our shrieks reverberating in the cavernous blackened space, all tension dissipated. As we pulled ourselves together and settled down, I became cognizant of the sound of rushing water and unease gripped me again. Where are we? I asked. Turn on your Uber light, Marco. Over here, said Benny, pointing downwards. With obedient compliance, Marco swung the light around and flipped the switch. Initially, the sudden change in light levels found me squinting, but as soon as my eyes adjusted, I was mesmerized by the scene of unparalleled and unconventional beauty illuminated before me. Incredibile, exclaimed Benny. I have never seen it this way before. I tiptoed forward and peered down at an artificial waterfall lined with the same bricks that covered the channel whose path along which we had run. The surface of the brickwork was polished smooth from the constant flow of water over it. My focus was then drawn further ahead into a man-made cavern whose salt-streaked poured concrete walls vanished into ebony darkness in the distance. The view resembled a vista from a Lord of the Rings film adaptation. When finally able to muster some words, all I could utter was, wow, wow. It is something, yes? This is the Earl's Court sewer. Benny stepped closer to the falling water and my stomach somersaulted. My fear of heights was so extreme I got nervous even when someone else approached a ledge. There are a number of steep slides like this one with concrete sidewalks along the sides with the stream running down the middle. Over here, you can see the heavy metal railings, which I used to go down further. But with the water flow and a bad kind of footwear, it can be dangerous. There are smaller tributaries, but it is almost impossible to climb through them. They do not have any railings. You must wear ropes, like mountaineers. Please don't tell me you've done that, I said. It is part of what I do, but this is a tremendous opportunity for me to take some magnificent pictures. Please keep shining the light downwards, Marco. As Benny spoke, she grabbed hold of one of the rails and my digestive organs went into flip-flops again. I don't think it's a good idea to go down there, I said. Kalina's right. Come on back up, said Marco. Benny ignored us and descended to a small landing, dropped her knapsack, pulled out a camera, and started snapping shots at every angle. Keep moving the light. Let it reflect on different parts of the walls. Benny kept changing her position and posture, slipping a few times, but with each misstep, finding her footing with the nimbleness of a jungle cat. I rotated towards Marco, and my heart seized. There was not one shadow behind the light, but two. Marco, there's someone behind you, I screamed. Marco zipped around and the figure hightailed it. Hey, Marco yelled. He turned back towards us. Benny, get back up here. Marco put down the light and vanished, but as I rotated towards Benny, she was disappearing too. The battery on the light was dying. Fast.
Hey, 30 seconds remaining. Good job. Well done. I love it when people.
Super.
I hate cutting people off. So, yay! Well done, Luba. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate that.
That has all my anxiety going. Just that little snippet has my heart just going like this.
Okay, here we go. Kate, are you ready, my dear?
I am ready.
Okay, and go.
I sat in the van in front of the Piedmont's home yet again and gave myself the luxury of a few minutes before heading inside and doing more patient follow-up with Lisa Piedmont. Parker was more skillful at this than I was by far, but it was only fair for me to step up no matter how tired or preoccupied I was at the moment. And God knows, David's phone call from a few nights ago had put me squarely in that frame of mind. My brain was grinding through his words over and over. Your name came up today. That was like seeing the IRS on your caller ID. It wasn't a polite inquiry. I would never be able to forget or dismiss my years with the CIA. They were present every day, whether I was assessing strategy on a case, analyzing the stare of a stranger as being either dangerous or simply curious, or even when I recalled something those years had taught me. There was so much I wanted to forget, though. So much I wished it was safe to pretend had never happened. Not just for my safety, but for the safety of my best friend and her grandmother, all the family I had now. Ensuring theirs meant that I was never, ever allowed to forget or disregard a single thing. God, sometimes I wish I could just erase everything in my memory from age 8 up until 3 years ago. With the exception of Parker's family and David, I wouldn't miss much else. I scrubbed the heels of my palms against my forehead, pulling myself back to the present. Get it together, Carmichael. You've got a job to do. Stop being a little bitch. It was only the muscle memory of the CIA's best training that got me out of the van, smile innocently in place, slipping into the role that was so essential for me to play. Just pretend she's a foreign asset. She has secrets she may not even know about. Get them out of her. Lisa answered the doorbell, dressed in tennis whites, a racket already over her shoulder. Oh, Vivian, I wasn't expecting either of you, or I would have. Oh, I won't take but a moment of your time, I said smoothly. I do apologize for not calling, but you can never be too sure about who's listening to a phone conversation. I should know. I could bug your cell with my eyes shut and both arms tied behind my back. She bit her lip and nodded, twirling the racket in her hand. I was just headed out to the courts to meet a friend, but they can wait. Let's go out to the garden. The backyard of their home was, quite frankly, stunning. Gran would have keeled over and had the big one at the sight of all the gorgeous flowers arranged in flawlessly manicured beds. Not a piece of mulch was out of place. Your gardens are lovely, Mrs. Piedmont. Oh, thank you. We just hired a new gardener, and I think it really shows. Over here, there's a bench where we can sit. Should we be expecting the gardener to be around? I queried automatically. Oh no, today's his day off. So, did you find anything new? Nothing solid yet, but we're eliminating certain factors, and that's definitely a step in the right direction. I just wanted to you to help us with that. First of all, I visited your husband at work, and he did pick out the flower arrangements for the anniversary party. He didn't have time to talk for very long. Did he hit on you? Lisa asked quickly, leaning toward me. I bit off my words and stared at her, lifting one eyebrow and letting my gaze frost over for a long moment before I answered her question. Why would you assume that? She swept a hand up and down in front of me. Well, you're gorgeous, and I just assumed that you would, dangle some bait in front of him and see if he'd take it. Lisa nodded eagerly, apparently too oblivious to hear the edge of sarcasm in my tone. I bit my tongue and counted to 10. Willing myself not to rip every salon-toned hair right out of her head. Mrs. Piedmont, you hired us to find out if your husband was being unfaithful and to provide evidence if he was. Neither Parker nor I ever said anything about setting him up. I'm sorry if you misunderstood that. She flushed a dark red, realizing too late her verbal faux pas. I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I just assumed that was part of the process.
21 seconds left. Well done.
I was timing myself too.
Yeah, of course you were.
I knew you would be.
Why wouldn't you be?
Yep.
You're my backstage sanity keeper. Why wouldn't you be?
Exactly. I would be remiss in my role if I was not also timing myself.
But it is like double secret probation.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
Well done. Nice reading, all three of you. Thank you so much. Now, everybody, you guys get to guess which book goes with which author. So here again is the here's the screen to show you the possibilities, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to guess. So there you have a couple of minutes. Take a look. Can you match the right author with the right book? It's difficult, I know. But again, you get bragging rights if you get it right. So stab at it, see what happens. While you guys are working on that, I am going to, if I can do this without messing up. There we go.
There it is.
Yay! There. Now, when you win a book tonight, if you look inside of it, you might find one of our bonus prize tickets tucked in between the pages. We have 3 bonus prize tickets out there. I don't know which books they're in, seriously. Kate saw when the list, when the books were all stacked up against the wall, they were spined to the wall. And I just took the tickets and I stuffed them in between pages. I don't know which book they're in either. So it's going to be a great adventure for all of us. But 3 golden tickets, actually 1 golden ticket, 1 silver ticket, 1 bronze ticket. The golden ticket, if you get that ticket in your book, it means you've won a Kindle Fire 7 tablet, and this is the ad-free version of that tablet. If you win the silver ticket, you will be sent an amazing Blood in the Rain prize box package donated through the generosity of author Jacob Bullen. These are the first 2 books in the Blood in the Rain series and a matching hooded long sleeve, super snazzy sweatshirt to go with it. If you win the bronze ticket, you will get the Masterson Files prize box donated through the astounding generosity of Andrew Smith. And in that prize box, you will find all 5 copies of the Masterson Files series that Andrew wrote. You will also find a canvas tote bag to carry them all in, and you will find an aluminum travel mug just like the one Andrew has on his screen, so that you can keep the coffee or cocoa warm that's keeping you awake while you read his stuff. And it's got a sippy lid on the front of it, so you're not going to spill a thing. So that's the bonus. All right. So, hey guys, I think everybody has voted. Let's take a look at the results from our poll. There they are, results from the poll right there. Now let's show you guys who won. Which screen is it? That's the screen I wanted. You ready? Let's see who did what correctly. There you go. Mark Bellow wrote Supreme Betrayal. This is this book 6 for you, Mark?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I see. I got it right. Numbers. It's amazing. So this is book 6 in the series for Mark. Theft Between the Rains is Luba's 2nd book. I highly recommend her first. I just finished it, but then I had to go buy more chocolate. So stock up on chocolate before you read the other book. What's the title? I'm blanking now, Luba, because I'm stuck on chocolate. What's the title of the first book? Luba?
She's muted.
Okay. She's muted. So
Sorry,
we'll get that from her.
Theft by Chocolate.
See, that's why I was messed up on the word chocolate, because the title is Theft by Chocolate. I was so overconsumed. And then Kate McNeil wrote Pistols, which is book 2 of her series. And there's 3 books in this series, right, Kate?
4. Working on number 5 right now.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So everybody who got it right, who got it right? Did anybody come close? There are a couple people came close. Yay! Well done, you guys. Good job. So now I think, hold on. Diana's got to find the right C. Yes, there they are, Luba. Well done.
Mine are
I was
there.
Yeah, back there. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
Vendors are behind him too. I know that.
I'm such
Yeah,
a good
Luba,
salesman. I'm such a good salesman.
Yeah. Luba,
Absolutely.
I was completely. I was the
Andrew,
whole-
Andrew, you got my book. You have my book. Hold it up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Where are
I
they?
was looking, it's not on my top list. It's behind me though.
All right.
Yeah.
You put it away in your chest somewhere.
Just again, another book of warning. You gotta be aware. I did warn you ahead of time. Go buy Reese's peanut butter cups before you read Luba's first book, because you're gonna eat all of them. So just do that. And then buy yourself a new toothbrush. Okay, so there we go. We are gonna do the spinny wheel of happiness. Is everybody ready for this? And then after we do the, well, no, you know what? Questions first. See, I'm all topsy-turvy now because I got messed up at the beginning. So if anybody has questions for Luba or Mark or Kate, we are taking questions. Anybody got them in the chat room? I'm looking at the chat because I was so busy trying to find the right screen to share that, you know, I missed them. So anybody have any other? No. Here, I got a question. One of the things I was really intrigued about Luba was your character's amazing command of museum backstage etiquette. Like when I was reading your book, there's Mark's books. When I was reading your book, Luba, I really felt like I was walking through the museum with your main character, with somebody who knows how to do this, and all the details were so spot on. Did you draw this from your own experience working in museums, or do you just have really generous friends?
No, I worked at Toronto's Royal Ontario Museum for more than 20 years, and it's actually Canada's largest museum. So like with an amazingly humongous collection. And because of the length of time I worked there, I worked in several different jobs. I didn't stay in the same one the whole time. So I had access to a lot of different behind the scenes areas in the museums. And I worked for about 10 years in programs. So I was literally meeting curators and
so this really was almost an autobiographical piece for you.
well, not everything, but
well, no, but I mean,
but it was certainly
anyway.
a lot from my day-to-day experiences there.
Yeah, I felt right in it. So, and I'm sure Theft in Between the Reins is exactly the same way because you're carrying over the same character. So,
yeah, but showing different parts of the museum in the second one.
I'm super excited to read it. Since we're on this idea of inspiration, Mark, where did you get your inspiration for Zachary Blake?
Sorry?
Where did you get your inspiration for Zachary Blake? Did he come out of your personal experience, or did he come out of an amalgamation of your years in legal that you just grabbed traits from other people?
Well, the answer is yes.
Okay. That was an question, Mark.
He has a little bit of me in him. He has a lot of lawyers who I've come across in my career. And honestly, he's the lawyer I've always aspired to be, not the lawyer I ever was. And I, I'm not saying that I had a bad career or anything like that, but he's very successful, very daring, tough as nails, willing to go the distance,
Right.
unwilling to settle. He's the kind of lawyer that most
He's a little bit more tenacious,
want to
right?
be.
Yeah, he's a little bit more tenacious.
It's not just tenacious. It's the whole package.
Right.
And I don't know any lawyer that has the whole package.
Yeah.
Including him, by the way. He has flaws. Don't get me wrong, but
well, we wouldn't like him if he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Kate, I know that you have promised me over and over again that you were never an agent for an intelligence organization. I don't know that I fully believe you, but
You don't.
we'll go on the assumption that you're telling the truth. So where did you get your inspiration for these books and specifically this character?
Don't tell her.
So
Yeah,
she's
I don't
tried. She's grilled me. She still doesn't believe me. Honestly, book 2, which is the one that I read from tonight, was actually the first one that was written, and it was co-written with one of my best friends. And we got the inspiration from that. We had a mutual, I don't want to say friend, acquaintance who was online. And this was your absolute typical oversharer, where she would just share, she's here, she's there, she's everywhere, her kids are doing this, that. And one day we were bored and we figured, I bet we could probably find her house. And so just based on what she had shared on Twitter, we were able to find her house. We Google mapped her house. We were able to find the school her kids went to. We found her car. We found the license plate on her car. And I want to emphasize, as I always do, we didn't do anything with this information aside from write the book. But it really put a thought in our minds that, oh my God, if we just on Google could find what people put on social media, almost all states require private investigators to be licensed, and they do actually have access to databases and things that the general public does not have access to. Just imagine what you could find out if you did have access to that. And so that was what got the ball rolling.
Sure. It's that classic, what if we had that much power kind of scenario.
So everybody be very mindful of what you put on social media, because I can find your house.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. And then let's segue into this other question Jennifer had. Who did the cover designs for each of your books? We'd be happy for you to share a shout out for your cover designers if you'd like to do that. Mark, let's start with you. Would you like to share who designed your covers?
Say that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Would you like to share who designed your cover art for your books?
I don't know his name. His name is Dave.
Okay.
There has been different sources for covers.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, by the way, Betrayal in Black, which Andrew doesn't have, was painted by an artist here in the Detroit area, a Park West Gallery artist by the name of Dominic Pangborn.
Okay.
It's quite a neat cover.
It is. It is. It's very striking. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out.
That's the only one that Dave actually, I'll get you his full name and his company.
Sure.
But he actually took the painting and enhanced it and turned it into the cover that it is.
Awesome. Very cool.
But we tried to follow a consistent theme throughout the
and you
series,
did really well with
except for Betrayal in Black. That is the one that really unique cover.
Yeah, well, they all go really well together. They look great on the shelf together. Luba, can you talk about your cover designer for us?
Yes.
Yay!
Her name is Lori Barnett, and a graphic designer based in Toronto. This was her first book cover, so she was learning along with me. And you never know where how people are going to come into your life. But she was the ex-sister-in-law of my boss in my last job, who was so supportive of my writing, and she ended up giving me sort of a starving artist fee for the cover, which was awesome. It was about 50% of her usual rate. And I really, and because she'd never done one before, it meant fiddling with it, but she did some really unique things, sort of like with the border covering, doing stuff on the spine, which I don't think you can see here because of the lighting, and then carrying the Toronto landscape across the front and back of the cover, which is, for Canadians, is a really recognizable landscape. So
absolutely, it's like the Detroit skyline. We all know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome.
Exactly.
Kate, what about your cover designs, my dear?
I actually did all of my cover designs. I used to be a professional photographer, so I have knowledge of Photoshop and things like that.
Sure.
But I definitely do not want to take away from people who do that for a living, because it really is an art.
Yes.
Taking a nice picture is one thing, but being able to translate that, especially into a thumbnail, that's an art. And I definitely do not claim to be a cover designer. I'm actually working on maybe redoing or at least tweaking all of them. I like them, but at the same time, I'm not a cover designer. So I did them all myself.
Right.
But again, I definitely encourage people, if you can, to hire a professional to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. And one last question before we get to the spinning wheel of happiness. Kate, Scott wants to know, do you ever get concerned that actual intelligence agencies might get curious about the sorts of things you look up while doing research?
Yeah.
Are you on a watch list somewhere?
I'm totally on a watch list somewhere. I was actually having this conversation with my mom the other day, and I said, I'm so boring that honestly, if they want to come like knock at my door and be like, ma'am, we have some questions. Come on in. I'm
Make
so
them a cup
boring.
of tea, really.
I mean, I've actually, what was it, a year and a half ago, I had to go be interviewed by Border Control for my TSA pre-check. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I had to be interviewed because one of my coworkers was applying for a position with Homeland Security. And just as a heads up, if anybody you even remotely know or dated like 20 years ago is applying for something like that, they are going to come and interview you, which is good because they're taking, obviously national security into account. But yeah, that was a 3-hour interview because
That's
a
insane.
coworker of mine was applying for that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very interesting for sure. But honestly, because people tell me, they're like, well, you should change your router name to, FBI surveillance van. I'm like, yeah, that's been done like multiple times. They can come knock on my door. I'll be like, yeah, come on in. I mean, seriously, I'm really that boring.
No, you should ask them questions then when they come in. Yeah, while you're here, I have some questions for you.
Yeah, I have questions for my next book.
True? Like Clarice, the TV show is coming out next week, I think it is. Is that real? Hey, let's sit down and talk. You know what? I'll answer your questions if you'll answer mine.
Right.
Good pro quo there. It's all fair.
It's more interesting the higher the clearance.
Of course, then I'll get like online and like brag about it. Like, yeah, guys, the FBI was just here. I totally would.
All right, let's go do the spinning wheel of happiness, guys. What do you say? Let's do this thing. We are giving away books tonight. See the spinning wheel of happiness? We tonight are giving away one of each of the author's books, and we're giving away a fourth book just because there's a thrilling story in it that I thought I'd like to share with everybody tonight. So here we go. We are doing 4 books tonight. So 4 spinning wheels. Ready? Here is spin number 1. Anybody want to sing?
Clickety, clickety, clickety. This is the clickety one. Clickety, click, 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 cling.
Paula Hawkins.
Paula Hawkins.
Hey, Paula. Did you
Hey,
see? I got these for you, Kate. Now you're set.
Send them on over.
Kate, Paula Hawkins, you get Kate's book, Pistols. You're going to love this. It's super fun. You're going to love this. And she's so proactive. She's already signed it and everything. So you're gonna...
Well, it's signed by both of us since it was co-authored.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, open it up. It's actually signed by both myself and my co-author.
Both authors. Bonus.
Thinking ahead.
Good job.
Awesome.
Always planning. See, this is why Kate's going to do our piece on social media and branding, because Kate knows these things and she doesn't forget them. So, okay, there we go. Let's spin the spinning wheel of happiness one more time. Book number 2. Here we go.
Spinning wheel. Got to go round. And it stops at
Marianne Weiland. Yay! Marianne is also an author who will be, if I can find my mouse, there it is. Marianne is also an author who will be joining us later in the month for one of these things, but she gets a copy of Luba's book, Theft Between the Rains. I'm jealous because I haven't read it yet.
Hi, Marianne.
On my list.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Good job, Marianne. Okay, we are gonna do spinny wheel number 3, if I can get the thing to work. See, technology, it's a thing. Okay, here we go, spinny wheel number
I'm
3.
so dizzy, my head is spinning like a whirlwind. It's never. Oh, it did end.
Chelsea
Chelsea.
Klein. Chelsea's gonna love this. I don't know, Chelsea might have this book, maybe she doesn't. This is Mark Bellow's Betrayal High. Now the reason that you're not getting a copy of Supreme Betrayal is because it's so new, I don't have copies of it yet. So you're getting a copy of Betrayal High, which I think, Chelsea, you will really, really enjoy this. It's gonna be great. Thank you, all three authors for donating books.
You guys have been treated to the first public reading of
Awesome.
Nice.
Wow,
Amazing.
that's so cool. I love it when that happens. Okay, one more spinning wheel. Here we go, the last time. There it is. Michelle Vandermeulen. I'm so glad Michelle won something because she's an awesome supporter of our festivals. She comes to everything and she's like Diana Duell. She promotes everything and she loves us and she always buys our books. So I'm really, really happy that Michelle gets a copy of American Fries written by Jared Morningstar. And this is a collection of short stories and poetry. And the reason I'm sending you this is because one of the stories in here is like on the thriller list. It was a little thrilling and a little creepy and a little, I think you'll enjoy it. Congratulations, everybody. Look at that.
Yeah.
4 books given away once again. Yay! Peasants rejoice. Now, you need to know how to redeem your amazing prizes, don't you? Because, you know, what's the point in winning if you can't get your prizes? Here's how you do that. You are going to send me an email before midnight tonight. My email address is right there in red, diana@pagespromotions.com. Before midnight tonight, you're going to send me an email with your mailing address so that I know where to ship your book. If you don't send me this email by midnight tonight, whatever book you won will go back into the rotation and somebody else will win it and you won't. So make sure midnight tonight you get that. So thanks so much, everybody, for coming and putting up with my technical snafus and suffering through my inability to stay on track. And thank you ever so much, everybody. Kate, it was lovely to have you read instead of just simply being a backstage hand. So thank you for that.
I like both.
Andrew, thank you again for always making it fun and keeping me on my toes and helping me with technology. I am tremendously grateful. Mark, Luba, thank you both. Mark, I appreciate you so much for being here tonight. I know
My
that this was not a great time in your existence, and I appreciate you sharing a little bit of your creativity with us tonight, even though you could have like gone and taken a nap instead.
I will
So
go take a
thank
nap
you.
right now.
Good. And Luba, thank you again for the time that you spent with us tonight. And again, I really appreciate the land dedication.
Thank you.
I think everybody should write one of those for themselves, for their country, no matter where they are. And you've inspired me, and I'm gonna create one that I want to do at my readings now because I think it's a cool idea. So thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Don't forget, come on back tomorrow. We are doing social media with Kate McNeil. It's $2. You can still sign up tonight. You can sign up until about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's only $2. Come join us. We're going to have a blast. We're going to learn a lot of fun stuff. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye all.
Thanks for coming and listening.
Y'all
Thank
come back
you.
now. Here.